Alrighty, so this airplane I designed it so that it can fly at slow speeds. The reason why it's going to be able to fly at slower speeds is because this wing actually has a higher aspect ratio than as you would see in a swept wing. Now, the reason why this is a high aspect ratio wing is because it's high aspect ratio is a narrow wing, but it's long. Okay, it's like narrow and long. I used the fat aileron control surface to maneuver this and control it. I put it into the plane a little bit so that the wing stays narrow. Because if I just had this thing, the actual size of this thing actually extends to like here, that's giving it a lower aspect ratio because it's not as narrow, it's getting wider. That's why you see gliders with high aspect ratios, because gliders actually they're just like sticks poking out of as the wings, except they're like flat. They're just so thin and long, and high aspect ratios let the airplane glide a longer distance, but also lets it fly at a slower speed. So we're gonna just take this thing off. We're gonna take it off, and I usually saw about 22. Look at that! Oh my god! Now, if you guys don't know much about Kerbal or planes, nah, I mean, I don't know. Planes are just fucking awesome. They're just awesome. Like everything about them. But I'll show you here that our speed is going down so slow. If you actually look here, we can see yeah, so we can fly at slow speeds. I didn't mean to land, but yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to focus. I just love taking off like that. It's awesome. Okay, this is dangerous. Okay. So this is nav ball here. I'm always looking at this yellow program marker and this orange wing right here. The orange, you know, then you get the yellow. The orange is the aircraft. You can tell. Watch that when I roll, you can see how it's turning. And what the the yellow thing is, program marker, that's just the relative wind. That's where the air is actually hitting you. It's also your flight path. Like the same thing. So I'm gonna lose some speed so I can demonstrate how this works. Okay. Now you can see our airplane is pointed in the blue. Oh my god. We just stalled. Holy fuck. Okay. You can see how my airplane's pointed in the blue. But if you look up here, we are actually losing altitude even though it's pointing up. The reason we're losing altitude is because the actual flight path is was in the orange. Our actual flight path was down here in the orange. Wow, it's laggy. And the orange is the ground. The blue is the sky. Best way I can explain that. Oh wow, okay. So I mean, yeah. Now I'm gonna demonstrate this plane in slow flight. Slow flight it requires more power because something called a power curve, and it's like with the total amount of drag, the lowest point of interference, drag, and parasitic drag is your best glide. I'm not gonna get into that right now. But pretty much if you go below that best glide speed, you're actually producing more induced drag. I said interference drag, didn't I? Okay, I meant induced and parasitic drag are the two types of drags. Once you go below that best glide speed, you're actually putting more induced drag into the airplane. Induced drag is whatever the pilot can do to add drag to the airplane. But see how I keep crashing this thing, and I said it could fly at slow speeds. This thing is flying at a very, very slow speed. And I keep crashing because I'm just one. It's like my like 5th time flying this thing. I'm just trying to see how slow I can actually fly it. And I absolutely love taking off. Taking off is the most vital part of a flight. It's more crucial than landing. So this thing's obviously got a terrible thrust to weight ratio because it cannot climb straight up, which doesn't, just because an airplane can't climb straight up, like pointing straight to the sky, doesn't mean it has a bad thrust to weight ratio. It just means it doesn't have a thrust to weight ratio that's over 1. And this one, I put a bad engine on it just to make it, keep it light and stuff. So I mean, yeah, just an intro to my channel. Just gonna, what the fuck? I'm just gonna talk about airplanes, and I just love talking about airplanes. They're just so much fun. And look at this thing bob around. There's so much fun. Oh shit! Yeah, I just love talking about them. It's gonna help me study too. So, okay. Yeah, it's my airplane.